Good morning, local peacemakers and loyal rumblers. It is Sunday, August 7th, 2022, a great day for our future. I have 3,036 days left with you until my last day, Thanksgiving Day 2030. You're listening to World Peace for Free's Anonymous Confessional, where your favorite time traveling minister shares tips on how not to be an asshole. Remember, I'm not a real minister, just another host of an entertainment show that's also a platform for peace. So please, don't be the idiot that takes me seriously. Now that's out of the way, let's see what you send me. Dear Father Minister, I don't like that one. Put that one back in the garage. Time traveling minister is enough, okay? It's too close. Remember these credential cards. They're from the internet. I just became a minister. For those who don't know, I'm just a minister from one of those websites that you could get a doctorate of divinity from. Like it's one of those websites where your friends can marry your friends. So hopefully, I mean the reason why we do that is so that there's some sort of levity here. I remember when we started the show, I was just a guy trying to like find some peace during the pandemic. This experiment started during 2020 where like there I noticed that there was a lot of people that had a lot of religious questions during that time because it really did seem like the end of the world. But look, we're still here, and we have a lot of opportunities to learn from each other and grow with one another. In our first episode, we talked about we featured a clip by Alan Watts where he talked about our progression from dirt roads to wires and roads and rails, and now we're wireless, guys. So we could talk to people from across the globe and share sincere moments with each other when two people are not even in the same place. Like for example, I was at a mass that was happening miles and miles away in the Philippines, and we were able to be there with them. We had to wake up early, but that's the thing. Like that's already is enough for me to just be so thankful that we have that technology, because I remember the days where it took like 2 minutes and a few and like you had to finagle a little bit with the network settings in order to get a video in the first place. And now it's just so instantaneous. We could send data to a printer, and I know I sound like, oh, this is so amazing, all this new technologies that we're getting there. And I'm just 32, but you got to understand, I am a Luddite. All this stuff is so interesting to me, and people, I don't know, I feel it's wrong to say that people are taking it for granted, but this is the reason why I feel it's wrong to say that, because I could share my feelings and opinions, and if there's anybody that has a different opinion, there's a comment section, and all this stuff happens so quickly that I'm glad that we live in this future, because it almost seems like I don't have to. It seems like all that anxiety I had in school, when I was known to be like the attention kid, not the attention kid, but more of like the attention less kid. I didn't have enough attention to deal with the stuff in front of me, and I always was making a disruption. And I didn't like that stuff because it messed up my learning experience. You know what I'm saying? And here we are with where we could pull up information, facts from that we would be tested on back in the day, with a snap of our fingers, literally with our voice. I could ask Siri to do these things. Oh, don't turn on, don't turn on. All right, so there we go. So sensitive. Anyway, let's. Did I read this already? Oh yeah, I didn't even read the whole thing. I'm 22. I'm 22. Just finished mass communications like you. I feel I collected all these tools about human behavior, but I'm lacking the opportunities of using it in my dating life. Have any advice for a guy trying to come up, but also build with someone else to love? Sincerely, Bromeo, looking for Juliet. I appreciate the bro joke in there. Look, at 22, straight up, I'm going to tell you this. At 32, where I'm at, I feel like you should. I feel like men, during what we found out after going through the Tinder age, like the data that came from that really just shows that men should not be thinking about dating until they could afford maids and companionship, because companionship is a spectrum. So, and and the reason why I say that is because when you get to that point, you have reason to ignore red flags, and you also, I feel, would like automatically be carrying the charisma of someone that has the ability to say no. Because when you're coming up, you really should just be focus on coming up. And that's all I have to say about that. Don't think about anything else, man. Don't be distracted. Um, make your name in mass communications. Do your thing. Um, Work to the point where you have a reputation that would attract a woman that would want to build on that reputation, first of all. And I know I made a joke about companionship before. Let me clarify another thing on that. See, this also works for the fairer sex, because when you we have I feel like when we have a world of men that are focused on focus on becoming marriable men, you attract women that want to raise marriable men, and the cycle continues well, I guess the cycle also, yeah, it just continues on making good marriable people. And statistics are showing now, because well, we have them all in the age of retrospection, that traditional marriage and all that stuff about that we argued about before, it all works, and it works for a reason. But I know it's arguable, not necessarily. The next question. Question number 2. Dear Mr. Minister, I have a problem at work. Here's the context. I'm a single father and I love my kid, so I need to work. I'm a cog in a I'm a cog in a logistics company that supplies auto parts ASAP. That's what we're known for. And if it's not shipped on time, our competitors will scoop up our clients. Will scoop up our clients. You wrote that in capital. Everything was fine before COVID. Everything was fine during COVID. Now that everything is relaxed, I gotta say, my vaccinated coworkers seem to be catching COVID multiple times a month. Productivity is down, and I don't know how long our company can keep using the we're short staffed during COVID before our clients find other companies to send them parts. So basically, he's saying, I don't know how we could keep up using the excuse of we're short staffed during COVID. Recently, I suggested to my boss some friends of mine that I know will learn and train, and these guys also have something to lose. These guys just want to work. Problem is, they think hiring college-educated kids straight out of college makes for more productivity. These kids do not know how to work hard. I'm afraid if this continues, then we'll all be out of a job. How do I bring up this topic to my boss without stepping on his toes? Sincerely, Marco Brolo. This is how I would do it. Boss man. I would focus on making your message more towards what the company is known for, supplying auto parts ASAP, and tell them the truth. Without employees that show up to work and have something to lose, like you said, these friends I know will train and learn anything because they have something to lose. These guys, they will. For me, at least, my gut says that if you feel like if they have something to lose, they will put themselves in a position where they'll learn to kind of keep the job. Versus these other kids that have this, I feel like there's this mentality of, okay, use your job to get the name and then move on to the next job. That's not how loyalty is developed, and I get that's a normal mindset, especially in the area that I live in, California. But that's not fair. That's not fair. But the truth is, like, because the truth is, that's promoted in social media. I see these TikToks all the time of these guys giving career advice, and like it comes on my feed, and I'm like, dude, I don't know I don't know what that does to the sense of loyalty. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I would do it. I would focus on the truth of what the company is known for, and do your best to highlight the fact that there will be more productivity when you bring up that these kids aren't trained to think of work as something to be loyal to. And that's all I got for you, buddy. Because also, it is during times of COVID. I don't know whether or not there's just a string of bad luck for those coworkers that you talked about. I really do wish you the best. I really do wish that all of us could come out of this situation in a way that we could trust each other again. Because in that message, I kind of feel that. I understand it. It's really tough to feel the trust during these times, and that's why the show exists. So we have something tangible, a museum of events that where we could all look back in the 10 years from now and see like, oh, that's what they were doing, or oh, that's what I felt before, and now I feel different. We're all in a way, we're all here. I don't believe that life is short. I believe life is long, so we could learn from the lessons that come from our mistakes, and we could learn from each other now that we're a wireless society. Question number 3. Dear Mr. Minister, I have a situation. I don't know if it's really that's hard to read. Let me try that again. Question number 3. Dear Mr. Minister, I have a situation. I don't know if it's really a situation, but I admire because. Question number 3. Dear Mr. Minister, I have a situation. Question number 3. Dear Mr. Minister, I have a situation. I don't know if it's really a situation because I admire and adore my Lolas. Ooh, this is a Filipino. Lolas, and I expect those generational quirks. Ooh, this is about cultural stuff. Let's see where this goes. But this whole "is she going to get married yet" situation is getting out of control. You're in that situation in your Asian family. I know. All right, let's read where this goes. Specific circumstance, I could count how many times I've had this conversation in my face. The Asian lady thing to say things a little louder than they should. They do it. They do it, or seem to. They would be talking to my mom or on the phone, but it's there. Some in some sub message that I need to be out on a date or something. You're probably an intellectual. Sub message, like subtle message, I don't know. I know it's something to let go, but I'm in my 40s now. To be honest, my work is my life. I work in the medical field. They don't know what it takes to keep my position. It takes time and sacrifice. And I know it sounds weird, but I have faith the right man is out there. He just needs to be in the places I spend time to keep my job. If it's about companionship, I have what I need. But for my mental health, I need a solution here. Sincerely, Yoko Brono. I love you. All right, so oh man, that's tough because you want to respect your Lolas. I understand it. It's just a normal. It's easy for people to say like it's a normal thing because that's their culture. But I have a feeling that some women out there will keep that, even though they didn't like it. They're gonna get to that age and find themselves doing it anyway. So what I have to say to you is something immature. Because I feel like the only way you'd ever feel good about this. Now, yeah. The only way you could ever feel good is if you could poke the bear a little bit. And here's a good thing about poking the bear in this situation, all right? I'm going to give you advice that's coming to my head right now, and I'm just going to talk out of my butt. And remember, I'm not a real minister. So, so if you guys need to know my background, yes, I do have a communications degree, and that's where all this comes from. I wanted to be in radio, and now we're here. And this is what you do in radio. You get to know your audience. And with this situation of talking to your, relaying to your Asian culture elderly that tend to that poke you that you're single and in your 40s and you need to be married, blah blah blah. That whole dynamic. What I suggest for you is a little bit immature. Here it goes. Do the same thing, but highlight things that they obviously missed out in their lives. Everybody has something that they missed out in their lives, and if you respect your Lolas, you probably already know the stories. You don't have to be so snarky about it, and you have a good head about you because you even say here, they do it or seem to. So I'm hoping that shows that you're the type to like, okay, maybe that does a little bit crazy. Let's poke the bear and see if it really is. And this is a way to confirm it, because if at some point they do this to you and then you're able to do what I just suggested, which is to poke the bear by doing the same thing that you feel that you're doing to them. Later on in your life, you'll find that they'll probably either have a lesson to give you about what they missed out on because they're your elders, that's why they're there, Or they'll have like, the face that vindictive part of you that's like the nom noms, like, I love that they're like, oh, they have the pain that they're putting on me. Obviously, it's not good energy to do that. At the same time, it does bring up conversations. I do advocate massive action for massive change, and I also advocate for doing things gracefully as much as you can. So that's all I got to say about that. As your time traveling minister, let's do the YouTube intro. Welcome to this camera. Welcome to World Peace for Free, everyone's favorite audience-generated museum of events until 2030. I'm your time-traveling host, and you're in the future, so if you haven't yet, please subscribe so we can be the biggest YouTube channel not part of the ad money program. That's right, you're listening to the world's first ad-free, non-fear-mongering newscast, World Peace for Free. Happy Sunday, everyone. Today's clips involve insights worthy to take away your worries. This one. Props. This one gives insight into wealth building. It's featuring Steve Harvey. Dear time traveler, love the changes to your show. Glad to see how it's helping you open up. This is a clip I want to immortalize. It's the one you sent me. This is totally not obvious. It's Steve Harvey's famous 6-acre story. Hey. His example changed my life. The way he makes his pursuit of happiness so relatable gives me reasons to think of his levels. Let me do this justice here. His example changed my life. The way he makes this pursuit of happiness so relatable gives me reasons to think his level of success can happen to me, as long as I work as hard as him and have a similar driven vision. Steve's story impacted my life because I was lost with kids and about to be homeless because my body was at its breaking point with hard labor. Now, I work in an air-conditioned office with enough time and energy for my family, with a vision to make a financial wall of protection so thick the parents from the kids of my with a vision to make a financial wall of protection so thick the children of the kids of my family and friends will always be covered. Wow. Thanks for immortalizing these ideas and my message. Sincerely, Rocky Brobola. Thank you very much. I love that name. Let's do this. Let's see this clip here.
You know how I got land? I was homeless. And I used to fish all the time. I wasn't fishing playing. I was fishing catching fish because I drive to a rest area because I kept charcoal in my trunk. And when I got to them little grills on the side of the rest area, I'd take my charcoal and I'd fry my fish. But I was always fishing somewhere illegally because I ain't own no lake or nothing. And I catch a string of bass, probably get 6, 7 on there. Hey, what are you doing over here? Get away, get out of here. I pull my string up. Hey, them fish don't belong to you. Let them fish go. I got to take all them fish off the hook and throw it back in the water. He didn't know, man, that I'm trying to eat, but I can't break no law, so I got to go on by my business. So first thing I said, I told God, I said, when I get me some money, I'm going to buy me a piece of land. Because I just want a piece of land where can't nobody run me off. I just want something I can stand on. This here piece belonged to me. So this how I did it. I was reading something one day, and I said, man, how much land is on earth? So I looked it up. It's a little over 36 billion acres of land on earth. At the time, it was between 5 and 6 billion people on earth. It's a little over 8 billion now. So I did a little hood math. I said to myself, if it's 36 billion acres of land and it's 6 billion people, just to me, everybody ought to have 6 acres of land. It was a scripture my mom used to tell me about all the time. She said, you have not because you ask not. So guess what I started asking for? 6 acres of land. Just wanted 6. So I messed around and got my first piece of money. I got me a check for about $115,000. So first thing I did, went to Dallas, Texas, said I'm gonna buy me some land. I found a piece of land, I thought it was perfect. Had a fishing lake at the end of it, because I love to fish. I said, man, this piece I'm gonna buy right here. Let me talk to somebody. I was with a real estate agent. I said, how much is this? He says, $250,000. I can't afford this. I said, I got about 115. He said, I don't think you're gonna be able to get it for that, but I'll make a call. So he called the guy. The guy said he would take 115 now and I could pay him the rest later. And before I did it, I said, hey man, let me ask you something. How much land is that? He said, oh, that's 6 acres. It was 6 acres. I got ready to sign it up. The real estate agent said, Mr. Harvey, before you sign that, I want you to think about it. I want to show you something else. So he took me over to this dude's house. I never met this guy. He came outside, he's a hillbilly. He's just country. You know, I was a little nervous. Me and hillbillies don't really, we don't normally work that good together. His name was Jerry Campbell. Turned out to be one of the nicest men I ever met. I misjudged the man. He talked to me, said, I want to show you something. And I go over there and I couldn't believe it, man. It had rolling hills on it. It had 4 lakes on it, fishing ponds. I said, man, look at this right here. How many acres is this, man? He said, 16 acres. I said, man, I can't afford nothing like that. He said, well, hold on, I'm in a tide right now. How much you got? I said, well, I was gonna do this other piece of land. I got 115 I'm gonna pay now. And if you give me a year to pay out the rest of it, I could buy it from you like that. He said, tomorrow morning, if you bring me a $115,000 check, I'm gonna give you this land. So I got the 16 acres of land the next day. So I said, wow, that's how it worked. You have not cause you ask not. I asked for 6. Soon as I was gonna buy the 6, he put some grace on it. Next thing you know, I got 16 for the same money. So I got to thinking, I got a couple partners in Cleveland that's locked up. They not getting out of prison. So I asked God, could I have a 6? They not getting out. They got 6 coming. Hey, Lord, can I have a 6? So you know what he did? Some land opened up next to it. I bought 18 more acres. I bought it. So I went back up to Cleveland. I was hanging out one day. My boys was on the corner. I told them, I said, look, man, I can't hang out on corners no more. I'm trying to get my TV career started. Oh, you done changed, man. This what's happening. So now you done got this little money. You done forgot where you from. I said, okay, hey, Lord, can I have A6 too? So I see right now, yeah, I see what's happening right there. They ain't finna go nowhere. So I kept asking for everybody I thought wasn't gonna ask for their 6. I asked for their 6. I ended up owning almost 300 acres of land in Denton County, Texas. But I just kept on, man. Just kept on with it. I just kept the faith. I kept believing. I kept asking him. I kept wanting. God got great life for you, man. But you're gonna have to ask for it. And when you ask for it, you're gonna have to believe it. After you believe it, you gotta put your work in. Now, if you don't wanna do the work that it takes to be successful, this man with his success, if you knew how hard he worked, if you knew the hours he put in, the hours his daddy put in, if you knew what it really took, it's daunting. It's days, man, where you go, whoa, what is this I'm trying to do? But you got to hang in there. See, getting what you want is up to you. How you get there, that's up to God. See, the problem with you is you trying to figure out how to do something. Listen to this. The how-to ain't none of your business. The Bible don't tell you to figure nothing out. It say ask, believe, and receive. Now, see, you keep going down these churches, they keep telling you this, but you ain't listening. I'm asking you to listen. You can turn your life around if you change your attitude. You change your attitude, you change your altitude. Stop sitting in here with a life of mediocrity when that ain't what God created you for. Now, you might not want this life. You might not want what it takes to get here. But if you want this life, you got to put in your work. You got to put it in, you got to stay prayerful, you got to never give up, you got to talk to God every day. Now, if that ain't what you want to do, then good luck. You keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. I would try something else if I was y'all. I appreciate y'all coming. Thank y'all very much.
Let's let the music crescendo out. That's really nice. And for you guys that are listening, that clip was aired on or published on December 2, 2019. The creator is Steve Harvey, and he's somebody that I've been following since I was a kid. He has 1.84 million followers at the time. You guys should give him a like and subscribe if you guys have a if you guys have a chance, because he puts out really good. Aside from his jokes and his actual TV show, he puts up really good content on, well, people would call it prosperity gospel, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, gospel is good news. And for those of you who are like, oh no, how dare you feature something about that mentions Jesus? This is why the show exists, so that everybody can come on by. If you want to send me something, if it's nice enough, I will put it on that side. I know that there's gonna be a moment where I'm gonna have to address some other stuff that I have to kind of reject a little bit, because, well, we're not here to be a fear-mongering station. And on that topic about God, it helps a lot of people. For me, it helps me. So, but I'm not gonna be here to preach. Someone has already called me a Christian, and I'll clarify all the time. I'm not comfortable being called a Christian. I'm comfortable being called a leader, a believer. And the whole thing about that is the reason why I want to be called a believer is because I'm just a regular guy reading the Bible every day. I could argue enough that the narrative of Jesus Christ allows for definitions like grace, or more relatable definitions of grace and redemption, and ideas that redemption can't be lost if it isn't. Redemption wouldn't be redemption if it could be lost in a day. And I'm also kind of, my mind's blown because I know who wrote this. And it's just so weird. What I have to say about this is I didn't know that this clip would be the one that changed your life. And reading it here kind of gives me a whoa, surreal factor. Because, yeah, this show has only been around for, I guess it's for a year, but only a few people knew about it. I was never really pushing it and publicizing it before, because we called ourselves America's Anonymous Confessional. You could see the problems that would come from that. But reading this and kind of knowing that just a video clip could change somebody's life, a good word could change somebody's life, it really gives me encouragement, knowing that maybe this could be the future, where we don't have to worry about our resources. We could worry more about how to make somebody's creativity or idea come to life. Because what if that idea helps cure death and taxes? You know what I'm saying? The two things that plague all of us, death and taxes. And I almost don't want to go into, I almost want to end the show like that. It seems so positive. But the other one just seems so interesting too. So I'm gonna let it. No, we'll save it for the next one. That was a really good message, and I don't want to press forward just for the sake of how do I put it? Control freak issues, and that's the reason why the show exists too, so I could look at my demons right in the face and say, like, I don't need that behavior. Because I watch every episode because I have to. There's an obsession there. It's like, oh, I gotta change something, you know. There's always gotta be something to change. But this is kind of what happens when this is a learning process and you're recording the learning process as we go. This is the capabilities we have now. The kids of our kids could see our behavior and see the path of where things go. It's like we have examples literally of Nardwar. I don't know if this guy's been popping up on your feed, but this gentleman talks to rappers and always gives them some sort of gift that blows their mind, and it's always like nice to see and nice to watch because this is goofy dude. And then because of the age of retrospection, or with the age that we live in, there is a clip. I found a clip of him as a teenager working where he would be in the radio station, and still with his same goofy voice and attitude. And he's being asked, what do you think he'll be doing 10 years from now? And you see, it's just, I don't know why I'm so like emotional about it, because you get to see people's dreams come true, and it should motivate you the same way how this story motivates me right now. Like, I don't want to talk about anything else or do anything else right now, or except for making a very, very perfect product for you guys. So I'm going to end on that note. There goes my attention for reflection here in the age of retrospection. If you saw an ad, then there's skullduggery afoot, because we don't take YouTube ad money. Please subscribe so we can be the biggest YouTube channel not part of its ad money program. Remember, you are loved, missed, and thought about every day. Take care, future people.
What's you're gonna do now?
What am I gonna do? Well, it's time right now for the Nardwuar, the Human Serviette Show on CITR, FM 102, Cable 102, Vancouver. And it's a variety show. Some people have called a stupid variety show. This is the Nardwuar Show!
Do you have any idea what you're going to do once you get out of university, when you grow up?
Well, my parents have an idea. My dad would like me to be an engineer.
And what do you think about that?
I'm gonna try to be an engineer, but I don't think I'll be an engineer.
Thank you again for talking to me over the years. From 2011 till now, like 5 times we have talked.
It's been a lot. It's been 10 years. They got to put it together to see how terribly I aged.
I really appreciate you talking to me, Tyler, because I think the first time that people knew who I was, really, was through your interview with me, 2011. They heard of me for the first time.
That's a damn lie.
Had you heard of me before 2011? Because I would like to thank you. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you. Because it really turned a lot of people on to my interviews.